Hello, everyone, and welcome to demo number 17 for the preservation work cycle. This work cycle was a one-week sprint in order to focus all of our efforts on finishing checks and validation. While checks and validation was worked on, we were also able to get a lot of work done in the Moab versioning gem as well as the ingest robots in parallel. So looking through the steps to production, we have under the checks and validation milestone, we have 2 in progress and deployed to stage, performance requirements met and reworked to only use MD5. We ran CV on stage against production data last week, and it did not meet performance requirements. We ran it on stage on disk 10. It took about 5. As we can see, we ran it on stage here, and on disk 10, we scroll down to disk 10. Sorry, check validation. Let me zoom out here a little bit. In our stats sheet, we can see that it took 5 days down here. Now, that did not meet our performance requirements, and so we had to change some of our code in the Moab versioning gem to be able to select 1 checksum instead of computing 3 checksums, which were SHA-1, SHA-256, and MD5. So we did finish that this week, and CV is currently running through disk 10 on stage. As we can see here, it's stepping through each object, and it's on the H's, and it's alphabetical, so it already finished from starting from A. Once this is complete, hopefully it meets our performance requirements, and we can check off the CV milestone. In addition to this, we were also able to add 2 new REST calls, update and create, for an object. So I can give us an example. If I start the Rails server, do a post. So I'm going to create an object to our catalog, give it the correct Druid as a string, incoming version and size as integers, and endpoint as a string, and I click send. We can see that we get a 201 status code created, and we can see that it did the proper SQL down here. Since we were using the Moab versioning gem for our checks and validation, this is where the code was changed. So if we go here, this is the method that we added. So from file, and we're now able to select which checksum we want, whether it's 1, 2, or all 3 of them. So the way we set that up was we were able to go to our PC then, update the Moab versioning gem because we released a new gem, and in this initializer's Moab config file, add the checksum settings, as well as in the settings.yaml, specify which checksum we wanted. We also did substantial refactoring in the Moab versioning gem. So here are just a bunch of commits submitted by us, which helps reduce indirection, makes more of the code clear and more readable. In addition to all the work we completed in the preservation catalog, we were also able to move away from door services and instead use the door workflow service. The reason for this is because the door service is a heavyweight gem, and the door workflow service gem is much more lightweight. And there's some configuration that needed to be done once we changed that. We also were able to add Honeybadger for preservation robots and Slack integration, as well as GitHub integration. There's a little bit of Puppet work that was needed to be done as well. Lastly, the complete ingest robot is now working, and we only have 1 robot step left, the update catalog. So if we look at the preservation ingest workflow, We finished all of them except for this update catalog, and this is just a no-op. It's a placeholder, doesn't do anything, but we will implement that this week. So if we click on the preservation ingest workflow for this object, we see that it ran through all these objects and finished the complete ingest at 11:08 a.m. If we then come back to the object and click on accessioning workflow, this sorry, I need to log in. So then we can click on the accession workflow. Then we can see that the SDR ingest receive step starts at 11:08 a.m. and then completes all three of the accessioning steps. And we can scroll up and see that the status now is version 2 has been accessioned. During this sprint, we also held a robot walkthrough where Naomi explained how all of the robot pieces fit together. And we took some good notes, and we will clean this up this week. And we may or may not hold a broader meeting for more of the infrastructure team. So if we go back to the steps of production, we've almost completed checks and validation. We have one more robot to do for the ingest robots, and then we will be able to start in on the archive service. Thank you for watching, and tune in for demo number 18.